Never about the technology. It's always about how do I'm not investing in technology, I'm investing in a better customer experience.
Yeah, I mean, for me personally, like 2007 was when I got my start on making the magic internet money, and it kind of forced my hand a little bit in the sense that, I couldn't go back on a job. So I was baptism by fire in my journey in entrepreneurship. And I definitely know what you mean with those cycles, those kind of, you just see them if you live long enough. It's funny too, because, I've said this to people like, not that I have it all figured out, but having done this 20 years, like I can predict where somebody's business model will be in a year or two just based on the quality of questions they're asking today. So I absolutely feel you like, yeah, I definitely get the shades of 2004 vibes. I don't know how you feel about that, Jonathan.
No, I totally agree with you, Perry. I think that, everything in life is cyclical, and that's a great analogy that you play out. And I think when it all makes sense. I mean, everything you're talking about, it's very logical, and that fits in and happens to fit in with my worldview as well, which is always helpful. But yeah, I mean, absolutely, I see tons of parallels back to that time.
Yeah. I wonder if we could go a little bit into the things that I think that probably our audience would be the most interested, Perry, is you are just like leading the charge on monetizing AI long before everybody else. Like, you've got people that have like entire business models built on, actually being able to build real businesses around AI. I know it's a cool trick. I know you can write content, and I know there's lots of cool, little parlor tricks you can do with people, but you guys are, actually building real businesses around that. I wonder if you could share some insights into like, what that looks like and how you guys have sort of figured those things out.
What I want to start by saying is, unless you have billions and billions of dollars, it's almost never about the technology, it's about the customer experience. I was talking to one of my AI speakers yesterday. He's only 30 years old, and I've known him since he was probably 16 because his dad was bringing him to roundtable members. And David said, it's never about the technology. It's always about how do I'm not investing in technology, I'm investing in a better customer experience. So, for example, we had an AI seminar last May. It was 10 and a half months ago. And one of the people that came from Australia was Finn Peacock, and he owns solarquotes.com.au. So Solar Quotes Australia, they connect solar power installers to people that need solar power, and they've been doing it for 15 years. And he said, we are in the process of taking all of our knowledge base and turning it into a chatbot. Well, now he has a chatbot. You can go to solarquotes.com.au and you can play with it. And what they do with it is when they get customer support tickets, the chatbot sends the customer support person an answer into a holding queue, and the person reads that and they go, do I want to say this to the customer or not? And they either send it along or put it in the revise pile because maybe there's something wrong with it. And it cuts their customer service by about 30%. And it also makes the customer service job more interesting because the repetitive questions are much less of a burden. And now the person's just managing a bot. And there is so this appears to be just a bell or a whistle or a convenience, but I see it's much, much more than that. Now, before I explain why it's more than that, I want to emphasize that they implemented a particular technology on a particular server with particular developers, and they borrowed certain things from other companies and so on. And that's not so much the important part. The important part is that they're making a better customer experience faster and easier. And they could switch horses next week. They could change the technology. They could run it on a different chatbot or whatever. And that's sort of immaterial. I think 99.8% of people that are listening to us are not going to go up against Microsoft or start the next AI company that's going to become the next Facebook. God bless you if you do, but I don't think most people listening to us are going to do that. But here's what, let me draw something on my little board here. So in Silicon Valley, we have this term network effect. And what network effect is, it's when Uber gets riders, which attracts drivers, which creates speed, which attracts riders, which attracts drivers, which creates speed. And this is why you would be insane to go try to start another Uber at this point in history. Uber and Lyft have that locked down. Everybody's got the app. The drivers are already driving around. You can get a ride in 10 minutes or 5 minutes, and they have this locked up. And your mission, should you choose to accept it as an entrepreneur, is to put in place network effect. And I have a term, NEMM, network effect for mere mortals. So Uber is network effect for Silicon Valley billionaires. And that's what eBay is, and that's what Facebook is, and that's what, all the Airbnb and all those guys. And they call them unicorns for a reason.
Hey guys, if you like this video, you'll probably also like our free Facebook group, Beyond Agency Profits, Agency Lifestyle Design. You can get free copies of the book inside here. I look ridiculous. We're doing weekly Q&As, giving answers to all your questions. Some of the best, smartest, brightest people. We've got lots of industry leaders doing 7, 8 figures and beyond. It's a literal who's who of the brightest agency owners that I know, as well as lots of tips on scaling and stuff, books that work. So if you're not already part of it, you're going to want to be part of it. So make sure to click the link. I put it in the description of the video as well as in the pinned top comment below. So just scroll down and you can join, and it's totally free.